Hey guys, I'm ZSH Plays. Welcome back to Planet Zoo. This is the first video in a new occasional series on my channel where I basically get to showcase zoos built by people that I've been lucky enough to collaborate with. And we are starting with the Forest Park Zoo built by Beezy. So this zoo is set somewhere in the northeast of the USA. It was built in the late 70s. According to Beezy, over time it grew to fame in the early 1980s when they added the Gorilla Island. And if it's a Beezy zoo, you know it's got gorillas in it. But due to some bad management in the late 90s, it's taken a decline. So a lot of the enclosures you're going to see today are out of date, which I love. I love a retro zoo. So I'm very much looking forward to getting into this one. So, according to Beezy himself, he's solved the biggest problem in Planet Zoo, the pathing, by virtue of not having any, which is a very elegant solution. This path we're walking on now is pretty much the only path in the zoo. For the rest of the zoo, he basically puts a keeper hut down next to the habitat he's building, makes a path from that to the keeper gate, and that's it. So there are no guests in this zoo. They're not allowed, which I think is a brilliant solution. Quite jealous. I've got guests in my zoo now, to be honest. But we can see the first enclosure here, an African savanna with some giraffes. Really nice feel to it. I love how these fences are not aligned properly, starting to fall down. You really get the sense of a zoo that has definitely seen better days, and that is something that I really love in Planet Zoo. A lot of Beezy's zoos look like this. I think this is his favourite aesthetic, and it's such a cool vibe to go and see. Things like this little cage here. This is an implied exhibit, presumably one of the ones where the zoo can't afford to have animals in it anymore. But I just love that he's got such a knack of making things look old and lived in and real. You really feel like you are actually in an old school zoo when you go through Beezy's builds. I like the city in the background as well. That really sets this in place. We've got a viewing tower over there as well. Let's take a look at that. I love this. This is really takes me back to some zoos I visited when I was a kid in the 90s, which is, I believe this is either set in the 90s or a lot of the builds here were built then. It's hard in Planet Zoo to make things look lived in, and it's hard to make them look low budget, and I absolutely love it. Let's move on and take a look. I remember there's some penguins in the next exhibit round here. Beautiful netting here. I did question why these flightless birds had a net over their enclosure, and I think the answer was because I like it, and I think that is a very good answer when you're building in Planet Zoo. That is the most important thing. I'm assuming that maybe this used to be an enclosure for maybe a normal aviary or something like that, and obviously the netting functions because despite the fact that these little dudes can't fly, they can certainly swim and walk, so you need something to keep them in there, and this netting does that. And again, it's a really busy enclosure, probably over themed, which again really fits in with the aesthetic of this zoo. And you get brilliant views of the penguins here. The water is so close to the path, which is another thing that is really hard to do in Planet Zoo. Beezy really doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to building. I'm pretty sure as well he built most of this zoo in about 2 weeks, and I'm not joking, literally 2 weeks. That's about 2 habitats for me, but half a zoo for Beezy. This I think is the Gorilla Island that I mentioned. I love the way you can just walk right up to the edge here. Nothing in between you and the gorillas, although I don't actually see any gorillas, although again that is something that will occur in real zoos all the time. Let's see if I can find some. Great climbing structure, that's what Beezy's known for obviously. It's ridiculous. There's one, there we go. Alright, let's grab a look from the other side. Yeah. Love the tyre over there as well. Yeah, the big silverback just chilling out. That windmill in the background as well, it's really beautiful. Oh, there's some kind of crazy retaining wall over there as well, slowly sort of erupting out of the hillside. I really like that. Got a nice dome, potentially an aviary or something over there. And then, oh, I think this is the red panda habitat. Oh, no, that is a giant panda habitat. Wow, look at that. Oh, it's got like a running water through it as well. Check this guy out. It's actually quite a sizable enclosure. Obviously it's seen better days. We got another one down here next to this climbing structure. I mean, this is just so good. You just feel like an old school zoo. And a little merry-go-round over here. There's a big, I don't know what that is in the background. Oh wow, okay. It's one of the swing boat rides you see in theme parks. Look at that view with the mountains in the background and the apartment blocks in the foreground. Wind turbine. Wow, it's so good. We've got what looks like an administration building here. Oh my god, it's actually a McDonald's. That is ridiculous. This is great. Wow. I love this gondola as well. This is not in game. This is a lot more realistic than the ones that are in game. That's really cool. Oh, and then it's got a rotary there. It's connected up to the water tower. No, in front of the water tower over there. There's just so many vistas in this zoo. He's worked so hard on making the surroundings really vibrant, so wherever you look there are things in the background, and I love that. It's one of the things I really need to work on in Tecton Zoo. I chip away at it, I put a building in here and there, but I just never find the time to really get the outside of the zoo as full as I want it to be, so you can get the vistas from inside the zoo. But this has renewed my resolve to do that, because this looks amazing. Now what have we got here? Ah, Binturongs. I love Binturongs, you know that if you've watched Tecton Zoo. One of my favourite animals. And what a habitat this is. Look at the tiles in the background. This is just so sort of late 20th century. I absolutely love this. Some more crazy climbing structures there as always. This whole thing is just a giant pile of rocks. So good. Another water tower. Do we have anything this way? No, doesn't look like it. Nice custom fence here. He didn't want to see me. Let's move back round this way, see what we can find over here. Man, I just love that retaining wall. It's the sort of sentence you probably wouldn't find yourself saying before you start playing Planet Zoo. And then suddenly you're waxing lyrical about retaining walls. It's quite worrying, really. Got a little Dewey. Oh no, I thought there was like a crossing here. I don't know why, maybe it's a hilly landscape, but there's almost a 20th century Hobbiton feel to this part of the zoo. I'm pretty sure that wasn't intentional. Oh wow, climbing wall. And we got something over there in the distance, but let's go this way first. Oh, okay, yeah, we're coming up on the desert house. I remember this from when the zoo was still under construction. This is absolutely superb. Let's take a look. Oh wow, this wasn't here last time. So we have a cougar. And look at this rockwork. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. And we've got some implied exhibits here, which I really like. Oh, wow. Oh, that's insanely cool. Look at that. I've never seen an exhibit where you can get this close to an animal before. That's so clever. But yeah, just this little gap here. Being a tortoise, he's not going to be jumping anywhere. That's absolutely brilliant. This was empty last time I looked as well. Amazing stuff. Look at that guy. What do we have over here? Cats. Really takes me back, this build. This really looks like London Zoo, circa the 1980s and 1990s. Small brick buildings. Whoa. I tell you what, he loves a close encounter in this zoo, doesn't he? That's amazing. So there's the gateway to their outside area, and this is their indoor area. This is firmly back in the days when zoos were built for the guests first and the animals very much second. But it does give you some very cool views. I think Planet Zoo is the best place for this kind of zoo these days, because we don't have to worry about animal welfare. Nobody cares if some pixels are a bit upset. But definitely for the best that tiny enclosures like that are not around. What is that? They're not around in IRL so much these days. Again, depending on what part of the world you're in. That's a pretty crazy custom wall. What is this? A greenhouse? Crocodile Greenhouse. This is new. Oh my god, it's like an actual crocodile farm. Oh, that's amazing. I've never seen a habitat that deep before. It really gives you a feeling of semi-vertigo as you look down into it. God, there are so many ideas in this zoo, but I'm definitely not going to steal. Maybe. Oh, this is just amazing. Even that hose pipe, that's like a day's building for me, just that hose pipe. I wonder if there are any actual crocodilians in here. Oh, wow. He's been hiding this build from me. He's not mentioned it. So good. Distinct lack of crocodiles though. Let's just... what's this here? I just love how ramshackle this all is. Are there any animals in here? No. Looks like they've run out of crocodiles. Well, that is a shame, because that is an incredible build. It really is. And what's down the other side? So that's the crocodiles. That's the deserts. That's the cats. Oh. Wow, there's a whole lot back here. Oh, wow. There we go. Very old school elephant enclosure here, where an elephant could literally reach out and touch you, and you could feed him peanuts. Is pretty magnificent. Our little stands for him to do shows on. Oh, that makes me sad. But hey, if you can evoke an emotion like sadness in a creative building game, that's pretty impressive. We've got a big farm over here, tractors and loads of irrigation systems. And this is leading us down to what looks like a car park. Let's carry on round this way, past all the irrigation. These look like greenhouses. Well, the last one had crocodiles in it, so who knows? Let's take a look. Yeah, okay. Just greenhouses, but the amount of work on this, which isn't even, you know, within the bounds of the zoo really. You can barely see it, but it's incredible. It's even got spades and forks, etc. I'm not a gardener, you can probably tell. I don't know what they're called. We'll call them spades and forks for now. Shovels and forks, I don't know. Okay, here we go. This, I think he's shown this on his channel. The monkey house, buried into the ground. Now this is based on a real monkey house. I forget which zoo it is. It's in America somewhere, I think. I don't know if it's still there, but this is a classic piece of, I would guess, 1970s, I could be wrong, architecture here. A real brutalist building, sunk into the terrain really nicely. It's so unique. Let's go inside. Oh, we've got another gorilla in there. In this tiny indoor area. All harsh concrete and car tyres. Again, really 70s feel to this enclosure. He's captured it so well. It's just so ugly. And it's just amazing to think that at the time this was absolutely the way that you exhibited apes and monkeys. This is pretty much exactly what London Zoo, for instance, looked like back then. And whichever of the big American zoos this house is based on obviously looked very much like this. So we've got habitats for smaller monkeys around here. But I think it's just the gorilla that remains. Let's take a look at this one from up above as well. Yeah, wow. Look at that. It's quite a build. So in a completely different part of the zoo now. We're at the aquarium. Now this is Beezy's Dolphin Show. So I don't have, apart from the weird little random mod this zoo needs to run, I do not have the dolphin mods, so there are no dolphins in here for me. But I've seen the screenshots of it with the dolphins in, and it's pretty incredible. And again, this is just a great build. Look at these stairs. Got a little display place for them there. The back of that pool. And then here. Wow, this is enormous. This is their main living area. It is pretty huge. It is a lovely build. Now in a path just past the aquarium we come to another primate island. This is the Chimpanzee Island, and it is really beautiful. As we come down here, look at that lake. It's almost a beach. I'm not sure where the viewing point is. I'm assuming this isn't it, unless they give you free binoculars. But let's go and take a look. It just looks so natural. where it slowly melds into the water. One of Beezy's climbing structures there, of course. And yeah, I really don't see a way of viewing them unless you're supposed to get here by boat. Oh wow, there's one right here. This is another incredible build. I don't really know the concept here. I'm not sure how you would get to it or anything like that. Maybe Beezy will show that on his channel at some point. Maybe it's just not finished yet, but that is a really beautiful build. Now, as with the aquarium, this zoo is set on multiple sites within the city that we're walking through here. So one of the other sites is the Australia House. So this is the dingoes enclosure. Some more brutalist architecture in the background there. Let's take a walk around and see that. And so here we have the house itself. The dingoes are away over there past that custom wall. We're going to go inside and see what we can see. That's a really interesting roof. What do we have? Ah, we have some koalas here. All sat on the floor, this being Planet Zoo, sadly. They are cute though. But yeah, you would, in a zoo, they would actually be climbing these things. They are climbable. They were up in the trees last time I saw this a couple of months ago. Wow, that's a lot of koalas. But yeah, they're just wandering around looking cute at the moment. We've got what I assume is something for crocodiles here, or maybe an Australian lizard of some description. One of their water monitors. Another implied habitat there. And oh wow, that's very cool. Especially with a cityscape in the background. That is amazing. That is very cool indeed. There's actually a abandoned power station somewhere on this map with a community of wild wolves living in it. That is pretty eerie, walking down this old bridge with the iron railings, and then there's wolves running around in this old abandoned station. Now this here is possibly my favourite area in the zoo. This is the cold area, full of animals from the Arctic and the colder regions of the world. And this contains my favourite habitat in the zoo. I remember seeing this on Discord a while ago and I was just blown away. We're going to go and take a look at it now. You know I love a penguin exhibit. Hello. Okay, we have an issue here. You know I love a penguin exhibit, and this one is just amazing. Look at that. Pretty awful if you're a penguin, but wow. This is, but again, I can't remember what zoo this one is based on, but this is very, very closely based on a real one. It's a brilliant replica, and yeah, this actually existed. These poor penguins are enjoying it very much, but I certainly am. Look at that wall and these crazy modernist structures. And that is not the only thing in this area. We have another one here for Arctic wolves. And a serious ditch, wow, with a serious ditch there to keep them in. Again, horrifically small habitat for these poor guys. And then round the other side of the penguins, we have this brutal enclosure for a polar bear. Just one sad, lonely bear in this concrete prison. It's horrific, but it's kind of beautiful at the same time. He's got a pool there. Just bare concrete to walk on. no enrichment, bit of shelter from the sun, and that's pretty much it. But just again, amazing build. The concrete covers the wall in the background, just great work. And that is Forest Park Zoo. I'll link Beezy's channel in the description below. Make sure you subscribe, and he'll take you on his own tours of some of the I think 467 different zoos he's built at the last count. And check him out. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you again next week with an episode of Tecton Zoo. Thanks for watching.